Afternoon, Emma.
How are we all? Hope you've had a nice bank holiday.
Can you hear me?
Just give it a few minutes for people to join and then we'll kick off. So thank you everybody for jumping on. This is a new thing for us and it's been brilliant to see how many people have registered so far. It's fantastic. We're going to be doing these once a week. I think it's probably good at the minute to keep things really bite-sized because I know everybody's under a huge amount of pressure. I know personally for me, when I'm invited to hours worth of training, my brain goes a bit funny while we're in lockdown. So half an hour is perfect, I think, for this kind of thing. I'm going to introduce myself and then hand over to my partner, Kathy Ennis. So for those of you that don't know me, my name is Emma Good of social media agency 24 Fingers. We help people that are all fingers of thumbs with their social. Some of you will know us from our training workshops that we do with Brentwood Chamber of Commerce. I know quite a lot of you on this call have been to our training workshops, and we've basically changed our format from face-to-face to online, and I think the transition's gone really, really well. We've still got loads of opportunities to talk to you individually as well, and we're happy, if time permits, to take in any questions. So great to be with you all this morning. I'm going to hand over to Kathy Ennis.
Thanks very much, Emma, and lovely to see some Norfolk faces here as well. And I spot at least one Barking and Dagenham one, but Rachel, I know you're not round Romford Way anymore, so lovely to see you. Yeah, Emma has said is that we spent 18 months delivering training together, and we've also then moved the training that we were doing face-to-face online as soon as the lockdown came into operation. We moved it from once a month to once a week, and that's proving really, really useful. One of the things that we realised is that we're sharing loads of good stuff in the courses that we're running, but it would be really nice if we could do some bite-sized bits that include some of the stuff that we're including in the paid-for training that we run every Friday. So that's part of what this is. And in fact, the session we're running on Friday is a much more extended version of this. So yeah, so that's why we started with this one, because we thought we're doing the work anyway, why don't we start with this one? So that's that. Just a couple of housekeeping things, folks, is that we will keep people on mute, because you know what it's like if you've used Zoom before, all it takes is for the cat to come in the room, which mine does quite frequently, and it sort of disrupts things, and everybody else can hear it. Also, there is a chat option here on Zoom, so if you go down to chat, if you do have questions, pop them in there. We will do our best to answer the questions, but obviously, you know, we're time constrained on this today. If you do have questions that we don't get round the chance to answer, some of you may not know that Emma and I run a Facebook group called 24 Piggies. So what we would suggest is, if you've got any questions as a result of this session that we haven't been able to answer in the session, if you're not a member, go across and request to become a member. It's free and open to everybody, so just come along and post your questions in there, folks. So and we'll do our sort of trawl through and answer the questions that you set us. So don't feel that you need to miss out on asking us a question, because you can do it that way. So yeah, so that's that. And just a few things. Emma's the social guru. She's the social media ninja, basically. Whereas I'm on the organising, planning, and getting your brain into gear side of things, as to why you're using what you're using, who you're using it for, putting it into some kind of plan, making sure that it focuses on what you're trying to achieve in your business. So that's why we work really closely together. So.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, Kathy. So I'm going to start sharing the screen now. We're going to be looking at today what tools we can use in our business to produce really eye-catching, stunning content that makes people stop in their tracks, when they're browsing through social media, and get them to follow you and engage with you as a business. Okay, so I'm going to share screen. Okay, hopefully everybody can see that okay. Give me a wave if you can. Okay, so we've introed ourselves. So in terms of why this is important, nowadays we have less than 8 seconds to convince people to follow our social media accounts. And as everybody who has a Facebook account or Instagram account will know, organic reach is decreasing by the year. It's less than 1% now in terms of engagement. So we need to make sure that when somebody comes onto our feed, instantly they've seen images and videos that are well produced, that tell somebody what we do and how we can help, and also that fit in with visual trends. So nowadays, for example, we're moving away from stuff that we can produce kind of on our Word documents. People are looking for stuff that looks like an agency has produced it. Good news is all of that's achievable within our own businesses. We don't particularly need to pay for a design agency to produce all this stuff for you. We've got it all at our fingertips. If there's any design agencies on the call, I'm certainly not saying that we don't need to employ design agencies to do our branding and to do our visual concepts ideas, but there's a lot of stuff that we can do using our free tools on App Store or Google Store. So one stat, if nothing convinces you other than this, posts with images get 650% more engagement than text-only posts. When I scroll back to my original Facebook post that I did kind of 5-10 years ago, I used to just put plain copy. That just won't rub nowadays. I'm finding when we talk to clients and explain how they can enhance their text with images, their engagement rates and their click-through rates are getting so much more traction when they put in an image there. People are, let's be honest, lazy nowadays. They need something to look at and think, actually, yep, I like the look of that. I'm going to head on over. They don't have the time nowadays to read through scrolls and scrolls and scrolls of copies. We need to make sure that we're visual first. We also need to make sure that we're mobile first. Whatever we do nowadays, we need to be testing on our mobile before even thinking about desktop, because as we all know, 98% of all content, especially on social media now, is consumed using a mobile phone. I'm going to point out something to hear about video. I know some people on the call are experienced in creating things like Facebook Lives or Talking Heads videos. If you don't have a video strategy in your business right now, by the end of the year, 80% of all content will be video. So I'm going to say a couple of things. Baby steps, get used to doing kind of 30-second, 1-minute clips on Facebook in particular. And I'm also going to say, let's get out of our comfort zone, because it is a thing that we need to introduce in our business. And some of the tools that we're going to be going through today and on the deeper workshop on Friday will show you how we can create video without feeling like we need to be Steven Spielberg or hiring a crew. Okay. I'm going to hand over to Kathy to go through some of the tools that each of us use in our own business.
Right, okay, so we just did a little bit of a brain dump here in terms of some of the things that we use that I think that perhaps you could and should be looking at. Some of them are image-based resources, some of them are video-based resources. The top one there, Adobe Color Wheel, this is something slightly different, but I think it's really important that you are aware that when you're doing anything like this, that it needs to be brand specific. So you need to attempt to keep everything you do as on brand as possible. So where Adobe Color Wheel comes in is making sure that in terms of your color choices that you're using on the things that you're producing sit within the color palette of your business. I use Adobe Color Wheel actually on my desktop, not as an app on the phone. But it allows me to create like color spectrums out of the main color of my brand, so that everything that I do can actually sit within that, and there's no it's not like, I mean, my brand colors are sort of a soft pink and a soft brown. It's not as if I'm going to put like bright orange or something in there in order to make it go. So I think Adobe Color Wheel, it's just something you should be aware of in terms of helping you with that. If we look at a couple of the other things, Boomerang and Layout. They're really, really useful, and those two apps are actually recommended by Facebook as being apps that are totally geared towards posting both in Facebook and in Instagram. So those two things are actually really, really quite key there. If you look at things like Canva is a design platform. I know Emma's going to talk about that in a little while. That and PicMonkey are my two go-to places for actually creating images or editing images or doing what might be called a layout or something like that. They're incredibly easy to use. And what I love about PicMonkey is it has airbrushing in it. So sometimes the photos that you see of me on screen have had a little bit of work. Let's put it that way. I think that things like Filmora Go is great for doing little films on your and editing film actually on your phone. You can do that on here. Stop Motion Studio is another video-based one, which is you can create little stop motion films. So you know, if you I'm thinking Kyra, I can see here on my screen, she might be doing something where she takes a picture, she does massage and things, she takes a picture of her hands in one place, another picture of hands in another place, and what she can do over that with that, she can mash it all up together so it looks like, you know, morph, that kind of thing, showing my age. Snapseed is my go-to on-phone app for image manipulation and editing and various things like that. So just to show you on my phone, folks, so you can see that, always organized in terms of my apps, they're all in folders, okay, so I can find everything. So I've got a folder here called images, videos and recording options. So I've got things like Canva in there, I've got things like Text Swag in there, so I can know that I can just go straight to those and actually do something with them if I need to. The other one I've got is, I've called it Mobile Studio Apps, and the reason I've got that is these are the apps that are recommended by Facebook. You know, I'm one of the Facebook She Means Business trainers, and these are part of the toolkit of apps that Facebook recommend for doing both Facebook and Instagram posts. So what I'll do in the 24 Piggies Facebook group, I'll actually do a list of these so that you can go off and use them, okay? And the ones I've got are both iOS and Android, because I'm an Android person, not an iPhone person. So they use across both of those. But all of them have been created, or all of them have been recommended because they work really, really well for our social profiles.
Thank you very much, Kathy. And I put something on there actually called Google Free Font Tools. This is a great tool to make sure that your fonts are going to be easy to read on web and email. Not every font can be processed by email service providers, so make sure when you choose your font with your web design agency, they've chosen a Google font, and it'll make life so much easier. And
I'll chuck into there the reason for this. My font on my logo, you can see, is a very specialist font, and it works really well on my logo. It's dreadful in print and it's dreadful on screen generally. So I've made sure that on my website and then in all of my documentation going forward that I use Google-based fonts, because they will be recognizable anywhere, and it won't do the thing that I've had before where I've gone to do a PowerPoint presentation where I've ended up with what looks like windings or symbols all over everything because it can't convert the font into one that it recognises.
That's a great tip, thanks Kathy. And if you use a Google font, then you're much more likely to be able to use that same font in Canva, because again, Canva have a limited amount of fonts and they'll go to web-safe fonts first. So just another helpful hint there. I'm going to show you some of these tools in action. So first of all, we've got Boomerang, and this is Valine in my team, if you don't know her.
Lovely wallpaper.
Great wallpaper. Here she's demonstrating how to do an animated repeatable action video. So she's filmed that on her phone within the Instagram platform. And
so she's using Boomerang, which is a great little tool.
so if anybody's got an action in their business, it could be, for example, I know John Lawrence on the call here has got a lovely dog called Ida. That forms part of his content strategy. John could film his dog running around, chasing its tail, and that could be a really quick, easy boomerang. And boomerangs are really easy to watch. They're digestible. They don't make people think too hard, and that's what social media is all about. Lean here has used the boomerang, and then she's added a question, so we'll get live responses on our Instagram story. And if you head over to our Instagram story today, we're talking about the food that we most miss, because today is hashtag Eat What You Want Day, and we're asking people to tell us what they're missing most while we can't go out to enjoy the restaurants that we normally do.
And can I just throw in just one quick thing about Boomerang? You can access Boomerang directly through Instagram. Okay, it is an option. However, I've found that the quality of the Boomerang shot when you shoot it through Instagram is not as good as if you actually use the Boomerang app separately. So I'd always recommend download or get the app onto your phone, the Boomerang app, and actually take the Boomerang image from the app and not through Instagram.
Great point, thank you, Kathy. So we mentioned Canva quite a lot on this call. Canva is definitely something that we use in our business every day. The beauty about this design application is so simple to use. You don't have to be a designer to use it. There's a free version, but there's also a paid version. So if you design, for example, an Instagram post, and suddenly you think, actually, I want that to go on LinkedIn, I want that to go on Facebook, the paid version will allow you to resize that design automatically. It saves you so much time and effort. I highly recommend you checking out the paid version. What I specifically love about Canva is that you can upload your own images, your own logos, your own colours, and then you can modify the templates that they've already created for you. So here I'm showing you one of their infographic templates. I've modified the colours, I can put in my own text, I can put in my own logos. And for what would have taken me personally a long time to build an infographic template, they've done the hard work for you. I really, really recommend Canva. You can export as well to PDF, to JPEG, to PNG. So to be honest, there's nothing that Canva can't do. And for a very small investment, the paid version is even better.
I think that the other thing with Canva, with the paid for version, I think it costs about $110 for the year. What it does is it opens up loads of more images, so free to use images, which is really good. You get access to far more templates as well, which is really useful. And as Emma said, what you can do is you can upload your brand colours, you can upload all of your logos, so that they're sitting in a file really safe. You're not having to go out and look for these things every time they're there. If you do have a very, very brand specific font, and you've got that as a file, you can actually upload that into Canva as well.
Brilliant, thank you, Kathy. And the next one I was going to talk about was another app from Instagram called Layout. Now, if we don't want to just use one picture on our social media posts, we can use Layout to create a collage really, really easily. And then with our collage, we can add text, we can add emojis, we can add stickers. It's a great way of basically giving people on your social a lot more content just within one easy post. So that can be downloaded directly from App Store or within the Instagram platform. It's another one of those Facebook recognised apps. Okay. Going to move on to video quickly. I'm going to show you a video that Kathy made earlier using something called Quick, where overlay text and images. Okay.
I had just before we were told that we couldn't go out anymore, the lovely Christine took some photographs on me. I did this in, I think, about 10 seconds, just as we were packing all of our stuff away. And that's, I just took some photos as we were going through the day, and that's how quickly you can actually do something like that using really, really simple stuff here on your phone.
That's great. Thanks, Kathy. So I was just going to briefly talk about how we use all this good stuff that we've created using some of the apps that we mentioned. Think of your social media as your shop window, especially important right now when we can't see our customers and our clients face to face. We need to make sure that our shop windows, i.e. our websites, our social media profiles, are consistent and that they drive traffic to your business. So you can use things like the pre-built templates to design cover photos for social media sites. You head on over to 24 Fingers on Facebook after the call, you'll be able to see what we did for our cover photo in May. I'd suggest that each of them need a call to action. So think of your cover photos across all of the sites as prime real estate. This is where you're sharing a message that can change on a monthly basis in line with your business activities. It's a place where you can tell people about upcoming offers that you've got coming up, product launches, whether you want people to fill out a survey, whether you want people to give you their opinion on what you're doing right now. Don't forget the cover photo and don't let it just become static. Make it interactive and make it a place where people can get free downloads, lead magnets, maybe a discovery call with you, maybe a free consultation. It's a place that we forget at our peril, and it can do you some real good in your business if you keep updating it regularly. And also,
remember, on your Facebook page, it doesn't have to be a static image either. It can be a video up in that top level area, so that gives you a bit more bang for your buck. So with some of the video creation tools, that will be a way of getting something really smart looking up into that space very quickly.
That's great, thanks, Kathy. And I'd suggest on a monthly basis that you do audit each profile. Just head on back, go through what your bios look like, go through what your cover photos look like, make sure that your logos and your images are up to date, that they're the right resolution, nothing's cut off, that it's all working as it should on a mobile phone. It's a little bit of housekeeping, and you might think, oh, you know, do I need to check that on a monthly basis? I guarantee you, I know in my business that every month I think, oh, you know, yeah, I can put that now, I can publicise that, or I've got something else to promote. And within our social media profiles, that's the place where we tell the world what we've got to offer and how we can help people, how we can save them time and money, and how we can take their pain away by using us. Well, I'm going to head on. I'm going to pass back to Kathy. Kathy's going to talk a little bit more before we take any questions about the workshops that we've coming up. So I'm going to hand over and then we'll open it up for questions, if that's okay.
Yeah, so basically, I just want to thank everybody for being here today. As Emma said, this is something new, and one of the things that has proven to us over the past 8 weeks is that you can react really pretty quickly with the stuff that you've got to hand. But one of the things that you do need to do, and this is across the board in terms of anything you're doing about getting your message out, is that you need to think about how you're going to be keeping in contact, how you're going to be keeping people that you work with as close as possible. Most of us have probably got businesses where we need to meet people on face-to-face basis, but we're not going to be able to do that. So we need to think about ways that we can keep ourselves front of mind with them for as long as possible, so that they don't forget us, basically. So that's one of the reasons why, you know, we've been doing what we've been doing over the past 8 weeks, and one of the reasons why we thought it would be a really good idea to put something on that was a short, sharp session every week to be as helpful as we can. As Emma said, we are doing longer sessions every week, and just to give you a bit of a heads up, I mean, we are doing a longer one on this on Friday, but the kinds of things we've got coming up over the next few weeks is about how to automate your emails. So that's a follow-on from the email marketing one we've done. I think some of the ones that I'm really quite excited about are things like, you know, a bit more about SEO, pay-per-click marketing as well, which is something that I've not done an awful lot of. I'm looking forward to the one about building a sales funnel, because I love that kind of planning, so I'm really into that. And even simple things like how to use Google tools to make your business more effective. So keep your eyes peeled for those. So should we have a look to see if there are any more questions?
Yeah.
So So Emma Backshaw said, could you repeat the name of an app? Emma, I'm not sure which app that was. So
I'll pass you later, Emma, and I'll run through the apps that we mentioned because I can't remember what I said now. That seems ages ago.
Okay. And Tracy, you asked about British templates. What do you mean by that?
On the I think I'm muted. Yeah, on the just the free version of Canva, there isn't anything with a British flag or anything British. It's very American based because it's an American site. And I wondered, because you said that there were more on the pro version, more images, are any of them more British based? So if you wanted something with, say for VE Day, if you wanted something with flags or things related to Union Jack, is that sort of thing available?
Not necessarily. However, because you can upload images, there's nothing stopping you finding the relevant kind of stock that you want and uploading that into your area so that you can use it and use it across things. And there will be places where you can get access to free resources, free images. And as we said this morning, not Google. Lots of other places, but Google.
Trace as well, Shutterstock in particular do lots of British templates, like for VE, they'd have done that as well.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Joe, inbuilt music on the video apps. So I know Instagram, for example, now you can incorporate their music because that's copyright licensed.
One thing I will say, and I will say this with a pinch of salt, is that even if they've licensed it, sometimes they don't like it. Because I've actually had posts stopped. Even if I've used their music, they've said, we're not posting this. So sometimes what I do to try and mitigate that is I save a version with no sound and then I have one, and if they say we're not going to post that one because it's got sound, is I post the non-sound based one so that I don't lose the impact.
Thanks, Kathy. Tina, how do you put your logos overlay on the video? I'd use Ripple or Quick for that. Really easy tools. And again, there's free versions. Some of the free versions have watermarks, but it's quite cost effective if you want to upgrade and to take the watermark off.
Yeah, and I think with all of this, folks, while you're experimenting and playing around with these things, always use the free version until you find the platforms that you're happiest with. And then once you're happy with using them and you think, yeah, I like the way this works, I like how easy it is for me to do that, then I'd definitely get you to think about maybe this one's worth investing in. Now, most of them are not expensive in terms of an annual subscription, but don't go the whole hog and buy absolutely everything, but also don't only go for the free, because once you get into the paid for versions of things, you'll get much more functionality.
Thank you, Kathy. So I think that's taken us up to 1:30. I'm happy to answer any other questions in our Facebook group, which is 24 Piggies. Thank you again so much for joining our first session. We've been thrilled and delighted to see so many of you, and hopefully we've added some value and made your life a little bit easier this week, which is what we wanted to achieve. So thank you very much, everybody. And
yeah, and keep your eyes peeled, because we will be posting about what we're going to be covering week on week on week. But because we did this one off so quickly, we haven't got our curriculum plotted yet. So, but we will be posting out about the things that we will be covering over the next weeks.
I've
and
got Anne and Madge
up to December, so you know, there's going to be quite a bit.
I've got Anne and my teammate Madge here as well, so they're going to be putting everything on Facebook and Eventbrite for everybody. Thank you very much. I'm going to finish the meeting. Stay safe, everyone. Take care. Look forward to seeing you all soon. Bye.
Bye.
You all right?
What is?
Yeah, I know.
What is it? What is it? Huh?
We just,
What do you want me to put on me?
sorry, just talking to Kathy. Sorry, what? Sorry, Lewis, what do you want? Can you just undo it for me and put the rubbish in the bin? That'd be really helpful. Kathy, that was brilliant.